Hello and welcome to the Tavern Chat podcast. I am your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog, and coincidentally, the Tenkar's Tavern Discord server. Woohoo! In any case, folks, there's been some, uh, I guess, Pex, my right hand, he got Tenkard. He basically got messed with on a different Discord server because of his association with me. And part of their argument is Tenkar has done nothing for the community, nothing for the OSR. So they kind of ignore Swords Wizardry Light until they say that, oh, and he only wrote Swords Wizardry Light to steal the thunder away from Swords Wizardry Complete third printing. So I've already addressed this on a blog site today, but I figured not everybody, reads and listens. And I figured I'd go over the history of Swords and Wizardry Light, what the background is. And I've probably addressed this here or there, but really, what it comes down to is in 2016, St. Patrick's Day morning, I left work at 6:05 in the morning, came home, and that was it. I was still on the books for 4 months, was not officially retired, but for all intents and purposes, I was done. I was retired. I could do my pub lunches and take my naps, and it was good, right? I mean, there was a period in time where I thought my retirement was going to mean playing MMOs 8 hours a day. Is instead of going to work for 8 hours, I'd be playing. Well, back in the day, I was thinking Anarchy Online or EverQuest or one of those other games. And the reality is, no. And I needed something. I needed my mind was searching for something to do, something to hold that focus. Work, whether you like it or not, it's a part of your routine and it's part of your focus. And once you no longer have to do it, there's a vacuum, and that vacuum needs to be filled. Vacuums always need to be filled, right? Nobody likes a vacuum. So, and I guess science doesn't like a vacuum either. So, I started toying with, or I started brainstorming the idea of a guerrilla marketing rule set for the OSR. I want something that can be printed on a single sheet, front and back, because obviously you need as much space as you can get. Saying front one side of the sheet ain't going to do it. I got news for you. I brainstormed this. I realized two sides of the sheet wasn't going to do it. So then I bought legal paper, and I figured maybe if I printed out in legal paper, there's an extra couple of 3 inches. It was going to make a difference. It wasn't going to make a difference. But I like the idea of a rule set that could be, printed out by the community. Those are my initial ideas. And left at a game store, where they always leave all the flyers, or a library where they leave all the flyers, or community center. And at the same time, I was trying to brainstorm a way that I could replicate a D20 using D6s. I could never find a good way to do it. But that did take up a lot of my brainstorming. And probably late spring, I was chatting with Zach Laser for Frog Games. And Zach and I have been friends for a long time, since before he was a frog. And I told him what my idea was, and this is what I'm thinking of, and I want this really short OSR rule set, but I want it to be complete enough that it's more than a quick start, and I'm not worried about having an adventure included, and this whole thing of what parts of the rules you include, character generation wise, what could get put aside. And Zach liked the idea, and I was expecting more feedback on how can I get an effective layout on this, because I don't know layout. If you've seen Swords Wizardry Continual Light, that's my layout job, and at best it's serviceable, so the community has said. But I'm not a layout person. So And I was struggling with the whole idea of, do I pick a rule set to find my inspiration from? Do I just kind of pick and willy nilly from all the rule sets? Do I just build it from the ground up? And Zach told me my vision was lacking. It's not the first time he's told me that. Well, it was the first time I think at that point. He told me that later on. He said, it was a very good idea. It was an awesome idea, but I was thinking too small. And he said he would get back with me. And he did. I think it was probably the next day or the day after that. And he's like, all right, so your idea, it's great. The frogs want to run with it. And here's what we're going to do. We could lay this out in 4 pages. So you kind of like a folder. And gives you more space to work, meaning more space to strip. He goes, strip it down from Swords and Wizardry, one of the versions. He goes, Frog Games will put it in print, give it away for free, put it in PDF, professional layout, high quality art, all that. And I was, my fucking God, I'm actually doing a real project. I was stunned. Okay. You can be on cloud 9 and also be totally fucking stunned at the same time. And that was me. So what did I do? I said, yes, of course. This is awesome. And I went to stripping down Swords and Wizardry. I wound up ordering the Swords and Wizardry Light rules on Lulu, and literally went through that with a highlighter and markers and pens, and crossed out entire sections and crossed out entire pages and highlighted stuff that needed to get rewritten, and started going on with that. Now, my idea, this throwaway sheet, suddenly became an actual rule set, because my idea would probably not have gained the traction Swords Wizardry Light did. But it isn't just me. Okay, Swords Wizardry Light was Zach Glazer, not just for having a vision to say, "Holy shit, this is a cool idea," but he did the layout, and he was my sounding board for almost all the changes I made in it. Scott Swift did the editing. James Spahn, yes, the infamous James Spahn. James Spahn. James did rules tweaking, and was also a sounding board. So you wouldn't have what you have. It wouldn't be what's out there, either in your hand or available in PDF. I mean, if you don't have a physical copy, reach out to Frog Guy Games and request one. They'll mail it to you if you're in the continental U.S. or anywhere in the 50 states, I think. Outside that, we got to figure out shipping. But honest to God, if it wasn't for Frog Guy Games, it wasn't for Bill Webb and Matt Finch allowing me and the rest to play with Frog God's property and find a way to put it as a complete game in 4 pages with 3 levels, 4 classes, 4 races. I don't know. This is definitely not the work of one person. But it was meant to lower the entry bar into not just old school role playing, but RPGs in general. It was meant to be something that lapsed gamers of my generation, in their 40s and 50s, who haven't played since high school or college, and can come back and pick up these 4 pages and say, holy shit, this looks like what I used to play. And it's only 4 pages. It's not overwhelming. It's not drowning them in rules. My niece thought I wrote this for her. She was 5. Tells you a lot. All right. She saw it for what it was. She saw it as, this is, for lack of a better word, Dungeons and Dragons that Uncle can teach me. And it's a gateway not just to the OSR. It's a gateway to Swords and Wizardry. Swords Wizardry Complete. This is that, like, here, we're going to give you a first hit of Swords and Wizardry. And if you want more, come back for Swords and Wizardry Complete and all our support material over here at the Frog God Games booth or at the Frog God store online. I mean, this wasn't created in a vacuum. There was a reason for it. And as a marketing tool, it is amazing. So to think that this was written to, I don't know, compete with Swords Wizardry Complete is ridiculous. You think if you even think that it was made to steal the thunder of Swords Wizardry Complete, you're out of your fucking mind, because this is given away for free so people will look at Swords and Wizardry Complete. Okay, it is there to enhance the game. It is there to complement it. It is not there to compete with it. It doesn't work that way. All right, so any stories you hear out there that, oh, Eric Tenkar just wrote this because he wanted to have something that was more important or better received than third print of Swords and Wizardry, it's ridiculous. Okay? Listen, Swords and Wizardry third print is the same as second print and the same as first print. The text is, 99.9% the same. It doesn't change the game. It just changes the presentation. And for me, Swords and Wizardry has been my go-to rule set for years. Something that can enhance people going to Swords and Wizardry Complete, which I've, again, run for years. I think it's awesome. I don't see any downside to Swords and Wizardry Light. Although I have heard from others that are gatekeepers is that I dumbed down Swords and Wizardry. No, I didn't. I didn't dumb down anything. I just made it easier to get people to try it. Isn't that the whole point? I mean, it's been given away thousands upon thousands of times in print, PDF, whatever. And it's so successful. And what it does is that it's gone to a second print. All right, technically, I guess a third print. The game hole run was a limited run of, I don't know, 200 or so copies, 250 copies for 2016 game hall. And then there was the first print run. I've heard 10,000 copies. I've heard others say less, others say more, but I've heard 10,000. And now the second print. In the second print, my only sadness is they took out my giant rat from the artwork. Replaced it. I'm very sad, but it's beautiful, and I'm very happy. And it's a great tool. I personally have no complaints about it. It set out to do what it set out to do, and it's done even more. And it's been received better than I could ever have asked. But it does what it's supposed to do, which is bring people into the OSR, bring people to old school gaming, make running games at conventions or pickup games easy, and it brings people to Swords and Wizardry. So that's your behind the scenes secret look at how I came to be. It was basically me. The initial seed was me retiring and needing something to fill up that time, give me a purpose. All right, folks, as always, I thank you for listening. I really do appreciate it. If you get a chance, give us a rating on iTunes. I guess that means the wife is getting home. And God bless. Or you rest well, and I will talk with you all tomorrow.